So to the story real quick, and let's talk about that, Ian. Trump floats friendly takeover of Cuba, but says it may not be friendly either. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my birthday, and the only thing I've ever wanted, ever, my whole life, I remember being a little kid, sitting in my living room, just looking out the window at the stars in the sky, thinking, I just want to conquer Cuba. And now, on this, my 40th birthday, Trump has floated a not-so-friendly takeover. Mr. President, thank you so much. It's all I ever wanted. Do you agree? Should we invade and conquer Cuba?
I would like to see Cuba as part of the American empire. I shouldn't call it an empire because that's kind of tongue-in-cheek. I would like to see Cuba not under the control of communist dictators.
Well, they don't have any power right now, so they're not in control of anyone.
I'd like to see them sovereign citizens in Cuba with the right...
Puerto Rico style.
Perhaps, yeah. Gun rights, property rights, the right to freedom of speech, to speak out against your government. And if you want to participate in the United States, like, I'm willing to open the door to those people for sure.
I like that joke where it was like, waterboarding at Guantanamo Bay sounds really fun until you read about it.
Until you know what either of those two things are.
Yeah. Waterboarding at Guantanamo Bay.
I don't know. I think we might have squandered that one in the Spanish-American War.
Yeah.
That's one of those, like,
I don't think that the U.S. is going to actually need to take Cuba. If I understand the news reports coming out, they haven't had power in something like a week, and the people are rising up like America says. Said they were going to rise up in Iraq, or say they were going to rise up in Iran.
Their government's going to collapse.
Literally pissed.
Cutting off, taking Maduro and seizing back our oil assets in Venezuela. Cuba is now cut off from oil. And so the people are basically at this point saying, I don't care who the boss is, I care about who's got the oil. Think about it, that's the easy way to conquer a nation. Mm-hmm. The people are probably saying, I don't care if you think you're in charge. Like, they're good. Listen, you put it like this. You work for a company and you got a boss who's like, if you quit, I'll sue you under contract. And then all of a sudden the paychecks stop coming in. You're like, I don't care what you do at this point. Mm-hmm. You're not paying me.
And if you're working and they're paying you sometimes, and then all of a sudden some foreign entity wants to pay you a bigger contract, you're like, why am I still taking this? Give me something. Like, what is the purpose of me staying in this contract anymore? You've been fucking me over for 80 years, Castro. So Raul, like 90?
Castro's not there anymore.
Well, it's his brother. Is it Raul?
No, it's Miguel.
Is a new guy?
Miguel.
Yeah, they're done. The Castro regime was all that country had holding it together.
Yeah,
and the oil.
If you look at the protests.
I want to just stress this to the people in chat who are like, "Oh my God, Tim's a cultist for Trump." No, you're a really low IQ person. So for that, I apologize for you not understanding what was meant to be facetious. I don't think the U.S. should invade Cuba. That was the joke.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to invade Cuba. I think the Cubans have long wanted away from that communistic dictatorship, and now with their oil supplies running out, they see de facto who's in charge.
It's looking like the op in Venezuela was successful on multiple fronts. It got Maduro, the current Venezuelan
and the regime.
Yeah, well, the current Venezuelan government is looking to normalize relations, if I understand correctly. The vice president there is saying that she's going to work with the United States, and it's also looks like it's going to take Cuba out.
I also saw bets on the State of the Union as to whether or not Trump was going to parade out Maduro behind him on a chain.
Yes.
Market.
I wanted to see him come out with like the GIMP mask from Pulp Fiction.
Just from Ye's interview with Alex Jones.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, look, Cuba's been a communist country for I don't know how many years, and if the communist rule ends there, that's a good thing. I think it's an unmitigated good thing.
Can you imagine if before all this is done, if Trump pulls off in Iran what he pulled off in Venezuela? This is the thing I'm saying. Like, I was asked by a reporter at the Wall Street Journal how I felt about the attacks on Iran, the war. And I said I'd advise against it. I wouldn't vote to support it. I oppose it, and I think it's because we have post-intervention stress disorder as millennials from Iraq and Afghanistan. And not to mention the stories of Vietnam. We do not trust that these operations are going to play out the way they claim they will, nor do we trust the reasons for going in and doing it. That being said, if Trump is able to pull off a regime change without a ground invasion in Iran, which would surprise the hell out of me if he could, people are going to be very, very happy about it. Yeah. And so when all this is said and done, Venezuela is looking like said and done. I mean, it's pretty crazy. If Iran ends up the same way, and then Cuba falls into the U.S. fold, Trump's going to go down in history as one of the greatest presidents, not the greatest president we've had ever.
Well, at that point, it becomes a legacy play.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Maybe why he wants to do it all. Maybe, with the Abraham Accords, I think Trump very much was like, I can bring peace to Israel-Palestine. Now, I'm not sure that he actually can, but I think Trump is looking at the world stage saying, I can solve this. And perhaps it's ego-driven. Perhaps it's, I want to be the guy who did. Or maybe it's ego-driven in the sense that I'm smarter than you and I can figure it out better than you. Either way, if it happens, I'll be happy.
Frankly, I don't care what the rationale is. If he can get it done, an objectively good thing, I don't care why he's doing it. If he can be the guy who gets it done, then by all means.
You know, if Israel gave Trump $1 billion personally to bring peace to the world, I wouldn't care.
I don't care the motivation.
The
as long
bold
as
statement
It
with
is,
our
the
chat.
point. The point is, think of the most like
I want to
offensive
lower that
thing.
again.
The most offensive thing, like Trump is secretly getting paid cash in the back room by Israel for foreign policy that brings peace to the world, ends war and conflict, stabilizes trade relations between a bunch of countries. Why would I be mad?
Yeah.
I mean, two things can be true. Like, you could say that that's an objectively bad thing to happen. Like, that's a bad reason to be doing stuff.
Agreed.
While also saying that a good thing happened because of it.
And that's my point. Like, what if Trump's motivation for all this world peace is that there's like a small child that he wants to murder just in the middle of Tehran that he can't get to?
like my whole
You'd be
life.
like, there's like just some little kid, he's on Call of Duty and he said he's going to bang Trump's mom. And Trump was like, I'm going to find you. And he's like, you can't, I'm in Tehran. He's like, oh yeah. And so he brings peace to the Middle East, stabilizes relations all over the world. And it's all just to
You
strike
can't
a
touch
child.
me. My dad's the Ayatollah.
Yeah.
Give me Obama's number right now.
He was playing. He was playing what Call of Duty back in the day. OG.
Do you ever hear those
15 years
AIs
ago?
of him? These are old ones too. Him and Biden
yeah,
playing Call
yeah,
of Duty.
yeah.
Gold. If you haven't seen them yet, watch those. They're so funny. They're so well done. It's nice to hear them getting along.
But on the Cuba thing, I think that Marco Rubio has been looking forward to this moment for a long time.
Yeah.
He's just like looking at a picture of Cuba and like rubbing it.
You know, and another reason
The
why
Wolverine meme.
it's not like because of Rubio we seized the Venezuelan government or whatever, but putting Rubio there was probably part of the plan to, secure the Central America. I think he's a master. I love that guy now, Rubio.
I'm really impressed with Rubio.
Oh, I feel so much better and like safer with him in the government.
Just let him hold you and keep you safe and
Well,
warm.
that would be fine. That would be fine.
He comes up behind you and he just embraces
He could
you,
be
and
the
you know
big
that you're safe
spoon. He could
in Marco
do it.
Rubio's arms.
Love you, Mark. Let's do it.
I was actually I found him to be uninspiring in
Yeah.
8 years
I thought
ago,
it was
whatever.
garbage back then.
Recently, the way he's been handling all of this foreign policy stuff and press stuff, I actually think he's not a perfect guy, but he's handled it very professionally, especially considering the political tumult between Democrats and Republicans. He's played it very professionally. I respect it tremendously. One of my biggest criticisms of Trump going back to his first campaign was that his lack of decorum. He approaches this from a very abrasive, culture war-y kind of approach. And J.D. Vance does that as well. Now, I'll give J.D. Vance some respect in that he's very tactful and academic in his insults. I can respect that. But Rubio has been very hard for Democrats to go after because he's kept it very professional and calm.
Yeah.
He hasn't fired back insults or plenty of these dirty games. I'd imagine if they insulted him in some dramatic way, like with Trump, they called him a racist, Rubio's response would be like, well, I'm terribly sorry if I've done something to give you that impression. It's not my intent. Like, he's not going to lash out at him.
I mean, we all remember like Marco from like the little Marco, like those days, like everything.
Little Marco.
I think uninspiring is probably was a good word
Yeah.
for him back then. But I honestly, like, I had my worries about him taking the role that he has. But I think I agree with you entirely. He's taken it and he's run with it. He's done a very good
I
job.
think his time in the Senate's probably helped with that too.
Yeah.
Big time, yeah. It was 20. Did he run for president in 2012? He was one of the
2016
I know,
primary,
2016, and maybe before that. I don't know. He'd been around before that, and I always thought was a war hawk. But as I've learned more about global geopolitics and that, like, you can't just never go to war when you have the largest military on the planet. You can't just let it all fall apart. You have to.
So if
use
use it or lose it. Sometimes you're bored. You got
I mean, I want to be decisive with it. Like, I don't want to just do it for the sake of doing it. And I want to make sure it actually protects American lives or protects American interests. But if somebody screws with us, I want to show them what $1 trillion a year looks like.
Yeah. I mean,
So I guess the liberals are mad at me because I praised Trump's masculinity on the attack in Iran. My point was not that I would call the attacks well advised. I'm skeptical, but hopefully optimistic. But I said that I loved the masculinity of it, in that the Iranians came to the negotiating table saying, we have enough material for 11 bombs, and that's where we're starting the negotiation. And Trump's response was like, I'll just kill you. Like, again, I'm not saying that means you should go to war. I'm saying that video of Mark Wayne Mullen and O'Brien from the Teamsters Union is just one of the greatest, manliest videos on both parts for both of them. I give them both respect. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I do.
Mark Wayne Mullen is like, he's like, after you left here, Mr. O'Brien, he's the president of Teamsters Union. He's like, you were mouthing off on Twitter. It's like one of the posts you said was,
yeah, where he threatened to like throw down.
Well, he as consenting adults made the offer to throw down, and O'Brien says, "Let's go," and then he gets up and goes to pull his ring off, and I'm like, "We need the men back in the room."
So funny story about that. I was in DC like a block away when that happened. As I'm looking on my phone and watching this, I'm like, "Man, I could have had front row seats to the best UFC fight this year."
But I gotta. So Mark Wayne Mullen reads the tweet where he's like, "You know where I am, anytime, any place," and then he goes, "This is a place. Now is a time. We can be two consenting adults." And then O'Brien goes, "Okay," and he's like, "Stand your butt up." He goes, "You stand your butt up." He goes, "All right." And then he stands up and goes to pull his wedding ring off, and then Bernie Sanders ruined all the fun.
Yeah.
And
You are United States Senator.
if I'm not mistaken, that was a very good impression. If I'm not mistaken, I think that he probably should have read up on Mullen's combat sports record.
He's 3 undefeated.
Yeah, that guy knows how to throw down.
I think he's one technical knockout and then 2 by decision.
No, I thought it was submission. I thought he had submission.
2 by
I thought he
submission
had
and 1
he had
technical
a
knockout?
TKO and 2 submissions.
Okay, way better
Yeah,
than
one was
decision.
an arm bar. But again, you shouldn't be fist fighting in Congress, okay? You shouldn't do it.
As much as you want to.
But I'm just saying, like, I am sick of this pencil neck, hoity-toity, buttoned up, like, we need strong, decisive men to say, do not F with me.
You know, this is very much...
Real quick, just final point. What does Trump say? It's I forgot the phrase, but like deterrence through strength or whatever.
Peace through strength.
Peace through strength. The idea is, I like the story of the guy who's sitting in a bar, minding his own business, having a drink, and then the loudmouth dude's messing around, and he comes up and tries to start a fight with the guy, and the guy says, "Listen, I apologize. I'm not interested. I'm gonna be on my way." But then when they finally don't let the guy, it turns out he's much more badass and he beats them all up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love the movies where the action hero is going, "You don't want to fight me, dude. I'm gonna leave here. We don't need to do this." But the bad guys are the ones who are like, "You think you're still smart?" And then the good guy shows restraint, honor. You know what? The best example of this is A Bronx Tale. You know that scene? Scene in The Bronx Tale? I will cite it 50 billion times ad nauseum for everybody. Yeah. So it's, I'll give you the quick version. Mob bus. Here's motorcycles, all big ruckus. Walks to the bar. He says, "What's the problem?" And the bartender says, "They're not properly dressed. They can't drink here." And the biker leader says, "Hey, look, man, we just want a beer. Just one beer, we'll be on our way." And then Sonny goes, "Spoken like a gentleman. Give the men their beers." So the mob boss is like, "I'm gonna be you respect me, I respect you, right?" Then they shake the beers up and spray everybody down. And then Sonny goes, once again, honorably, "Okay, now you've got to go." And they say, "F you, F off." Then he walks over, closes the door and locks it, turns around and says, now you can't leave." And then the narrator's like, at that moment, they knew they effed up. Then the back door pops open, all the good old boys come in with guns and bats and beat the crap out of the bikers. Yeah. The reason I love that story, he said, "Spoken like a gentleman." These men were polite, but not properly addressed, so he said, "I will treat you with respect." They then chose to disrespect him, and he still showed restraint and said, "Now you need to leave." And when they still decided, he says, "Okay." And they beat the crap out of these guys. That's what it means to be a man. You're able to, but you show restraint because you want to keep the peace and protect those around you. But when bad and evil comes lurk on that corner, you are willing, ready, and able to stop it.
I think. What's that?
Sorry, I just the biblical interpretation of the meek shall inherit the earth. It's like, well, one of the translations that I was hearing was it's not meek as in like weak. It was more of those who carry swords but choose to keep them sheathed.
This is
the reserved.
Julius Caesar. I believe this is what he was. He was the guy. He was the meek one. He had all his legions up north, all this territory, and the Senate started getting very afraid that he was going to betray them. So they're like, "We're going to strip him of all his land and all his soldiers." And he's like, no, I'm not giving the power up. He's the man in the situation. These pencil neck paper pushers are trying to control the world with bureaucracy, and he's like, "No, I'm not giving you back." He comes down to Ravenna, close to Rome with 1 legion, and is there to make a negotiation. I just want one province in Croatia and one legion. He had 10. He was giving up 9/10 of his army just to go govern some simple thing and serve Rome, and they still wanted his stuff and wouldn't let him. And finally, he was like, "You leave me no choice." And that's the story of Julius Caesar.
Cross the
I love it.
Rubicon.
That's so. I got ragged on by the liberals. They were like, "Tim thinks it's masculine to go to war." Yeah, yes, I do. Indeed, it doesn't mean you always do it. The fight you've won is a fight you can avoid, right? That's a saying. Mm-hmm. So you don't go looking for trouble, but you are damn well prepared to solve the trouble if it comes looking for you.
Oh, 100%. And like that's something that a lot of veteran friends of mine, veteran advocate friends of mine say, if you want to help combat veterans, make less of them. You know, you don't want to go to war for no reason. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of baggage that comes with it, not only American lives, but a lot of the things that they had to go through and a lot of the things that you still have to take care of afterward. That being said, like you should always be prepared for it when the necessity comes. Again, if you want to screw with us, we will show you what $1 trillion a year looks like.
Or they won't even see it. That's the crazy part. Is people still haven't seen what they're doing. We just see the outcome.
And I stress this too. The issue I take with the attacks on Iran are less to do with that we're going to war, but that we do not have a good track record on regime change.
Yeah.
And that is the argument against it. The expense, the waste of time and energy, 20 years flushed down the toilet in Afghanistan. That being said, you make a great point with the Bill Burr comment that there's plenty of reason to put the smackdown on what the Iranians have been doing in the region. It's not about us, it's about literally everyone else destabilizing it. And so my only hope is that whatever Trump ends up doing, we want to get out cleanly. We don't want a bogged down 20-year conflict. It sounds like the rumor in the Beltway is they expect it to be a couple weeks, that they're just going to just bombard this place. And then everybody who holds stock in these defense contractors are going to get very wealthy because they got to replenish those armaments.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's gonna happen, I hope it happens soon. And I hope that we're down. I mean, what are we at right now when it comes to the American lives lost? I think it's 7.
Is it 7?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we're down 7. But I think according to the Iranian ambassador, as of today, I think they're at over 1,300.
Is there civilian casualty lists?
I don't know, to be honest.
And it's hard to know what to believe. I mean, official statements from the U.S. are going to try and rally as much support as possible. They're going to say, Trump's saying it's almost done. Maybe it's not. Who knows? But then, of course, on the Iranian side or the pro-Iran side with Russia, China, they're going to be claiming all of the worst things imaginable, like the U.S. is intentionally killing children, and is one of the stories that came out.
Well, I mean, right after the first night of attacks, they claimed the Ayatollah was still alive. Right. So I really don't trust anything coming out of Iranian press right now.
I saw a video on Twitter of a guy driving in Tehran and just fire, and it's like apparently the Israel. This is what it says: the Israelis struck oil refineries or something, and that it was getting into the sewers, and you're like blazing fire along the sides of roads and stuff. And I don't know if it's true. For all I know, it's a freaking deep fake video.
I saw like some of the videos where it first lit off. I don't remember what exactly it was, the sewer system or whatever it was that was blowing up in the streets, but it seemed like that was pretty legit.
It did seem like it.
It's just from the multiple angles like that.
And I don't want to ever let myself get to the point where I just completely disbelieve everything in front of me.
Yeah,
I mean, we're getting there. It's getting close.
It is kind of hard to tell, especially when you've got people that are so bent on discrediting, either side, whether it be people that are counter-signaling the United States that are saying, oh, Iran's actually winning. Look, the Iranians they haven't been launching a lot of drones because they're saving their weapons for later. But I mean, that kind of stuff just doesn't really make sense because they've already lost, like you said, 1,400 people. There's a bunch of people of their senior leadership were taken out the first night and stuff. And it's like, well, what point do you start using your best weapons if it's not to save the people that are, or prevent the people that are in charge from being blown up,
And again, I even hearkening back to the most power to good ratio, or restraint rather, I guess is the better way of putting it. The United States, I think, is the only military on the planet that is limited by its political will and not its ability. Yeah. Because if Russia could take Ukraine, they would.
Indeed.
And there's multiple examples of different, you can name a country and who they'd like to take or what they'd like to do. They'd do it if they could. Mm-hmm. We're the only ones that hold back because we can, but we choose not to because of the political fallout. but we have the ability, and I think we're seeing that right now. I think we're actually holding back a little bit. I mean, we're holding back a lot.
Well,
frankly.
I mean, we have nukes, so
yeah, well, yeah. There's
really
always
want
that. There was always the next step. I don't think we're ever going to go that far.
Yeah,
I hope
carpet
not.
bombs. Even I mean, there's a mid tier the U.S. could be engaging in for sure.
Yeah.
We're being strategic, I think, specifically to strike military targets without civilian casualties.
Yeah, I mean, we've spent billions of dollars developing weapons that'll be able to, if we want, that we can use to discombobulate, but also that are literally just flying swords, right? Like you can take out an individual person with a Hellfire missile that doesn't have a warhead on it. It has literal swords that pop out.
The mobile ninja blender.
Oh yeah. What
You
is
haven't
it?
seen that, Ian?
I've never seen it.
They assassinate a guy with it. It fires blades that just like spin and just slice you up.
There's a Hellfire missile that, when it gets to the target, blades pop out on the side and it will strike the target. There's a couple pictures on the internet of cars that were hit. You can see where the blades went in, and I think the U.S. took out an Iranian, an Iranian official with it.
Is it because it's like a low yield type of
there's
thing? It just hits the
there's
immediate
no
vicinity?
explosion.
So it just hits like the local area, and then
No, it's just
that's
moving
it?
really fast.
Hits you with blades. And
But won't
blends
like
you
knock
up.
buildings over. Like that's what I mean. It's less destructive.
No, there's
Entirely analog. There is no explosions. It's just.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.